Channing, I thought you were phenomenal in this, and there's this great ending to the film where you talk about having no desire to escape, and then it cuts to a screen saying Jeffrey tried to attempt two more escapes right afterwards. How is it leaning into his humanity and bringing that to screen when his words and actions didn't always line up?
Yeah, I got to talk to him a lot, almost every day for almost 2 months leading up to the film. And, I had all these expectations, these projections of who he could be, who he was. I'd talked a lot to Derek before I even jumped off of that cliff, to meet him over the phone. And I don't know, I even reading the script, I felt like I had just understood him on some level. And I don't really know how to exactly explain that. There's nothing really I can put my finger on in the actual script that I go, oh, this is me or whatever. It was more of just like I get the feeling of not knowing your own worth without having something to give or something to like, that it's not you that's worth loving. It's whatever you can provide, I guess. And I don't know, just the way that he would go about doing things, it's not the way I would, but I somehow related to it on some level. And maybe it's because I have a daughter and there's nothing I wouldn't do if I couldn't, provide for her, that to be able to do that. And then I just talked to him, and you can tell that he definitely is. He's smart. He's like he really cares. He's genuinely caring, but I guarantee you, like he could say something that he really means, but then if something happens that he doesn't feel like that is right or something justice-wise, like he's gonna go and do the opposite. He's gonna be like, no, that's not okay, and he's gonna tell himself whatever story that he needs to tell himself to justify whatever that opinion or behavior is gonna be. And I think that's human. I think we all tell ourselves whatever stories that we need to kind of get by. If I don't know, I'm blanking on an example right now, but if I don't want to go out like to meet my friends, I'll be like, look, I got to work in the morning, and I don't have to work in the morning, but I just didn't want to go out, and like but I tell myself, that I'm going to be better off in the morning, when I wake up and have to take my daughter to school and whatnot. You tell a lot of people stories that might not be true just because you want them to be true.
That makes total sense. And Kirsten, your character Lee, she really sees the best in people, and I thought it was really powerful at the end. Even though she's been lied to, she still led with gratefulness and a positivity to her. What
Mhm.
really resonated to you about the character?
Well, that's how Lee, the real Lee, feels about what they went through together, is like grateful to be alive with Jeff, had this experience, and it was a real adventure for her. And so that was kind of like the feeling that I held on to. It's a very much a love story. And so I didn't want anything to feel inauthentic or that this mother isn't taking care of her children. There's a lot of complicated nuances within this relationship that your instincts are saying, what's going on here? But you also really, really genuinely love and care about this person. And he's come into your life in such a beautiful, fun, and alive way that I think that that is, yeah, very powerful. And so I think that it is a sad love story, but she still feels very grateful towards Jeff and all that they went through together.